Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week's video, are you ready for it, is reading thrillers for a week. I am only doing this because I miss thrillers. Now I used to be such a thriller girl, and this year, for some strange reason, I have got hooked on fantasy, romantasy, fantasy romance, rom-com, comedy, romance, you name it, that kind of book I have been absolutely hooked on. And I've just completely neglected all of the thrillers on my TBR. Now I've just finished my first thriller, and by thriller I mean like crime mystery, cozy mystery kind of thing, and that was Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. And I kind of thought, I've started, if I stop now I'm not going to pick up another thriller again. So here we are. You will have seen me pick out the books on my radar for this video. I have another one but I can't find it, I'll have to go find it in a minute. But so far, these are the books we have on my radar. So we have The Guest List by Lucy Foley, The Housemaid by Freida McFadden, The Island by C.L. Taylor, The Teacher by Freida McFadden, This Summer Girl by Jenny Blackhurst, The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, and The Family Remains by Lisa Jewell. On my radar also is The Twist of a Knife by Anthony Horowitz. That's another cozy one. So the question is, how many books can I read this week? What books am I going to read this week? And what am I going to start with? Now, I think it's between A Twist of a Knife by Anthony Horowitz. I had it out yesterday because I was reading the synopsis of it. But I've also read the first one, which was The Family Upstairs, and I feel like I should just... It was over a year ago now I read the first one, and I feel like I just need to get this done. This little duology by Lisa Jewell. It's over 400 pages. That's a lot. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, the Freida McFadden books I have, The Teacher and The Housemaid, are like really anticipated. The Guest List and The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley have been on my TBR for ages. Now, The Paris Apartment is also a huge book, so I think I might put that to the side as well. Oh, The Guest List looks like an easy read. I feel like that's potential. Now, The Island by C.L. Taylor. This was a charity shop book find. 7 days, 6 teenagers, one deadly secret, who will escape the island. £1.99. Love that. So basically, teenagers go on a holiday of a lifetime. Their guide dies of a stroke, leaving them stranded on this desert island, and then their fears become reality. I think that sounds pretty good, actually. How many pages is that? Not even 300. That's probably a very good contender for this week. Let's pop that in the contender pile. And The Housemaid. I know everybody loves it. That's only just 300 pages. The works, you know it. I've been putting off buying The Housemaid's Secret and The Housemaid is Watching because I haven't read this one yet, so we'll see. Also though, I have some thriller books on my Kindle, which will also be in the running. Okay, so I have Sweet Pea by CJ Scoose. Now that is, if you're in the UK, a new series, I believe, on Sky. I've also got Never Lie by Freida McFadden. I've got Leather and Lark. Does that class? That's not a thriller, is it? I have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I have not read a Riley Sager book since the first ever Riley Sager book I read, which was Survive the Night, which was hands down is literally my favoritist thriller book in the world. I have a crime, which is The Monk by Tim Sullivan. Love Tim Sullivan's DS cross thrillers. Oh, it's a thriller. There we go. The Monk by Tim Sullivan. I've got A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. Girl serial killer dad who's been arrested for years, but all of a sudden some people get killed, and it's exactly the same style as her dad's killings. That sounds really good. I've also got Final Girls by Riley Sager. Now my cousin literally recommended this to me this morning. She said that that was incredible. And that's it, that's all I have. Oh, I have a random one I didn't know I had on here called Come a Little Closer by Karen Perry. God, that's one of the oldest books on my thing. I didn't know I had that. Okay, so we've got a huge selection. You've seen the ones that I have physically. I will put all of the ones that I'm looking at on my Kindle. You'll see me when I start my first thriller book of the week. I'm really going to try and smash out these books this week. I have read 66 books this year so far out of my 80 on my GoodReads goal. That is 14 books left. I have a month and 3 weeks left to read 14 books. So I have 3 weeks to read 7, and then I have 4 weeks to read 7. So my goal is this week to get at least 3 done. Thriller books are the books that I read last year when I used to be such a fast reader, so I'm hoping that these will get me out of that slow reading slump. I think honestly it's because I really like to take in romances and I really like to take in fantasy, whereas thriller, I'm like, I need to know who did it, I need to know what's happened, I need to know what's gone on, I need to know all of every single itty bitty detail. So I'm impatient basically. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna be really honest. I'm falling asleep. It's literally 11 o'clock. Oh, and I'm really tired. I'm feeling it, I really am. You best believe I will be napping before I go to work. So far, page 18. I know it's not very far, but I'm tired and I'm a slow reader, so get over it. So far, we have met the main character. Anthony Horowitz is the author, but he's also the main character in this book, which I love. The concept of the author being the main character is really interesting. I'm really enjoying the way this is written because it's kind of like we're in the head of the main character who's also the author, who in the book is writing a book. Is it this book? I don't know. It's flowing very nicely. Not much has happened. We've met one other character, two other characters so far. One other character is going to be in the whole book. He's second main character, one not so much, not very significant. Really interesting. I just wish I had a better attention span and I could read faster, but we're going to carry on. I'm very much enjoying the way that this is reading. There is literally not much to say at the moment. We're just learning about Anthony's play that he wrote, Mind Game, and how it became a play in the Vaudeville Theatre. So far that's all we have. I'm gonna go hang the washing up and I will catch up with you when I have read a considerable amount more. Okay everyone, it is 11:45. I have finished work. I finished work at 11. I'm home, I'm showered, I'm in bed. Now, I think the last time I spoke to you I was on page 20 and I said, oh, I'll catch up with you when I've read a little bit more and there's actually more to say about the book. I'm on page 205. I've absolutely raced through this today and I feel like that speaks for itself. You book girlies will know what I mean when I say that like we will use anything as a bookmark. Look what I've been using. That is in fact a leaf that flew in through my back door today. And all of my bookmarks are up on this windowsill. All of my bookmarks are up on the windowsill in a like book vase and I didn't get one out. Anyway, we are on page 205 of Twist of a Knife. This is chapter 15. I must admit, I was getting up to page 90 and I even said this to Ben on the phone earlier. I was at page 94 and stuff had only gone down at page 90. Like up until page 90 it was really slow and we were setting the scene and we were building, but there was no actual action. Now for me, for a thriller and for a crime, I want like, bam, this has happened, now we got to figure out what's happened, not la-da-da-da-da, do you know what I mean? I'm sure I'm not the only one. Page 205, the murder has been committed. Anthony Horowitz has been arrested. We are now at the point where we're going through each suspect with Detective Hawthorne, or ex-Detective Hawthorne, and we are trying to see who's got the motive, who was there. One thing I will say is that this book doesn't excite me, but I said this to Ben a minute ago. If I had the time, I would have sat and read this in one sitting. The words just flow. This is my first Anthony Horowitz book. I don't know whether this is YA, I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, but it's good. And I will have finished this by tomorrow, so I will update you then. It's definitely sitting at least a 3 stars, maybe a 3.5. I'm not, oh my goodness, what's going on? But I'm definitely like, hang on a minute, what's happening? What's happening here? I can't figure it out what's going on. I'm very excited to finish this. This has given me the drive. You know when I said to you earlier on, I just race through thriller books because I'm so excited to see what happens. I've already been thinking what to read next. Now it's either going to be Final Girls by Riley Sager. I don't know what else, it might just be that one, to be honest with you. I'm going to stop babbling, get reading with this, and I shall see you in the morning. Okay, so it is the next day, it is Tuesday, and we are going to try and hopefully finish this today. I gave you an update last night and I read 2 extra pages, so we're actually on page 208 of 385. I have 173 pages left. I'm very excited to finish this. This read so quickly yesterday. I read 208 pages in a day. I'm supposed to be a slow reader. So I'm hoping that with that being said and I have less than 175 pages left, I can finish this today. I'm gonna try and get a good 40 pages done before I go to work, if not more. I'll catch up with you probably when I've finished it, to be honest with you, unless there's some big breakthrough and plot twist that I want to talk to you about. If not, I'll see you when I finish this and then we will decide on the next book. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I don't know what day you're watching this, obviously, but it's Wednesday for me. Last night, I finished Anthony Horowitz's Twist of a Knife. I didn't say anything about it because I literally just got home from work and I finished reading it. I had 3.5 pages left when I finished work. So I got home and I read those 3.5 pages and I finished it in literally 36 hours. I started this Monday morning. I think I read a page of it Sunday night, and then I actually genuinely got on with this Monday morning, and I finished it Tuesday night. I'm so proud of myself. I told you, didn't I tell you that thriller books make me read faster? Now, I rated this 3 stars on GoodReads for a very good reason. I was very torn with this because it was an incredibly slow burner. I got this far through the book before something actually happened. All of this was setting the scene, building up, that kind of thing. And then we didn't find out what had happened until here. So all of this is them finding out what happened. The reason I gave this 3 stars was because if Monday night I had had longer, I would have sat and read this in one sitting. The writing flowed incredibly. Like, I couldn't put it down. That's, I think, just thrillers for me, to be honest with you. But I could not put it down. Like I said, I find it so hard sometimes to find a book where I can just read and read and read and read. It wasn't complicated, it wasn't overdone, it was easy to read. And like I just said, I could have done this in one sitting, but I didn't. Now, I did really enjoy the way they did the fact finding in this. Or should I say the sleuthing, because the whole way through you're thinking, well, there's absolutely no way that it could have been anyone other than him, but it's not. Obviously it's set up so you know that it's not, but you're thinking, hang on a minute, all of the evidence links, it's him. How could it not be him? But you know that it's going to be someone else. And there was absolutely no way I would have figured out who it was from the evidence until the page before it was revealed, or literally like the paragraph before it was revealed. I was like, huh? Then I read and was like, I knew it, but the whole time I didn't know it. Do you know what I mean? The only thing I didn't like about this was the fact that I had no idea from the start. Like, I couldn't even make my own theory up about who it was, because like in the book, there were so many facts, but they couldn't all be true. So I couldn't figure it out. That is our first book of the week done. It is Wednesday morning. Last night, I decided to pick up The Monk by Tim Sullivan. I'll put it on the screen here. I decided to pick this up instead of another physical because I do love Tim Sullivan's DS Cross mystery thriller series. Now, this is the last one in the series I need to read. And when I first started reading and I first got the Libby app, these are the books that I found. And I've been reading the whole series slowly over a year, I think. Now, this is the 6th book in the series. And although they are not like, thriller, they're still incredibly interesting and they're still thriller. Now, Tim Sullivan's DS Cross mysteries are about Detective Sergeant Cross. Now, he is on the autistic spectrum. I believe he has some sort of Asperger's is what they hint at. And it's really, really interesting. Throughout the series, he is the investigator for all of these deaths, for all of these murders, for all of these crimes. It's basically a whodunit, but the twists always get me. Like, you actually never expect who it's going to be by the end of the books, and I really enjoy that. You know what I absolutely love? DS Cross represents autistic / Asperger's spectrum disorder. I don't know if I'm saying that right, so please educate me if I'm not, but I absolutely love the representation that DS Cross gives in this book, because it just goes to show that no matter what you're made of, things are possible. Anyway, I'm on chapter 3 of that already. We're going to get going and read that. I believe it's 414 pages on Kindle. Now, I want to read half of that today. I know these books go very fast for me, so I'm not worried. I have a sleeping pooch with me today. I have my first and hopefully only coffee of the day. At some point today, we're going to be applying some rosemary oil to the hair. I've also got some reading journal to be getting on with. So this was my October spread, and that's the second part of my October spread. Do you want to see my November spread? It doesn't exist. We're on the 13th of November. I'm so behind. I need to do some of that today, absolutely. Anyway, let's get on with the video. I'm so happy. I have not read a book in 2 days in a very long time. Let's get on with the video. Just want to say thank you so much, guys. If you have watched up to this point, it really means a lot to me. I am going to get back to posting more reels, videos and Instagram content very soon. Christmas is hectic. It's not even December yet and Christmas is already hectic. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, it's 12 minutes past 6. Ben is conked out on the sofa. I'm just doing dinner. I just thought I'd update you on The Monk by Tim Sullivan. I'm talking very quietly because I don't want to wake Ben up. Okay, this might be better. Pardon you. I am currently 9 minutes into the book. The one thing I will say is I'm tired today. I went shopping all day. I only picked this up for the first time about an hour ago. I read 3 chapters of it last night. I'm on chapter 6. It's because I keep dropping off. This book is about a monk who was found dead, beaten in the woods, covered in maggots, from the local Benedictine monastery. Weird, because he's been a monk for 15 years. Everybody loves him. Why would somebody want to kill him? This is what DS Cross and JC Otti have got to find out. I'm enjoying this one. I'm not reading it as fast. I was having a look at the other thriller books that we were looking at on my TBR at the beginning of the video a minute ago to think maybe I should start something else. I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to absolutely stick with my guts and stick to this book because I know I'm going to love it. I just feel like it's going to take me a while because I've been out today and I didn't spend a lot of time reading today. But hey ho, Ben is now asleep, so I'm going to smash through some of it now, keep myself awake by standing up. I pooped. Anyway, I'm on chapter 6, page 40 of 414. I will catch you back up at page 100 maybe? Hopefully it'll be soon. It says I've got something stupid like 7 hours and 32 minutes left in the book, which is literally 2 days. I could finish that tomorrow night and then start a new book Friday morning. So yeah, see you in 60 pages. It is Thursday. Yesterday was a slow reading day. So we know that I read Anthony Horowitz's Twist of a Knife Monday, Tuesday. And yesterday I read literally 20 pages of The Monk by Tim Sullivan. I literally have nothing else to do today apart from a little bit of washing and a little bit of tidying. So with that being said, it is currently 7:46 in the morning. Ben has gone off to work nice and late and I was going to take the dog for a walk nice and early, but he's still asleep. Dog's still chilling asleep downstairs, so there's no point taking him for a walk yet. I'm not going to wake him up, he needs to sleep. So we're going to sit here with the Kindle and do a bit of light reading. By the time I fell asleep last night, I made it up to chapter 11, 19% of the way through the book, and I have 6 hours and 35 minutes left of the book. My aim, I said I was going to finish this on Friday. I think I might finish this Sunday and actually give us like a good chance to get another book or 2 done. I reckon I could do 4 books if I'm really good. I've got my cozy jazz music in a library on YouTube and I'm going to sit and read. I've got my cup of chai, my cup of English breakfast tea this morning, which I love. And we're just going to chill, I think, for maybe an hour. Let's go. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not gonna lie to you. The girl's tired. It's 8:10, or should I say 9 minutes past 8. I'm on chapter 13, 23%, and I think I'm on page 95. 97. I've got 6 hours and 20 minutes left in the book. Let's see if I can smash out 3 hours today. Uh-oh. I realised I haven't really told you what this book's about. The Monk by Tim Sullivan is about a monk who has been murdered, is found in the woods, beaten to death. They've got to figure out who did it. Usually the most obvious answer is never obvious and you will never know until literally the last page of these books. And I kind of like it though because these ones do give you clues the whole way through. You just have to be really smart with it to figure it out. What's going on right now is that DS Cross religiously, pardon the pun, practices the organ in his local church, and he does it alone unless Father Stephen, the church's priest, comes in to watch him practice. Spoiler alert, skip a couple seconds if you don't fancy it. I'll put it on the screen to where you can. Father Stephen is the monk's brother. Not a massive spoiler to be honest with you, but had me shocked when you saw my reaction, I've just read it. I have 14 minutes left. I will see you when the timer is up, because if not, you're just going to be staring at me reading all day, and that's just not fun for anyone. I'll speak to you in a bit. We're on a quarter of the way through the book. I'll speak to you once we've finished this time, and then I'll speak to you later on once I've gone for a dog walk, and we'll see if we can smash this out today. Okay, let's be brutally honest with each other here. I think this morning I said I was on page 94. I'm on page 118. I have read 24 pages since first thing this morning. I am almost certain that you guys know how I feel when I say some days I just can't pick my book up. Like, I have spent all day watching The Good Witch on Hallmark, my favourite, my absolute favourite. I went on a dog walk, did some washing, I cleaned my shoes, I got myself set up, I finally had some breakfast and make myself a coffee. I am incredibly disappointed in myself because I have had all day to read this. I probably could have finished this. I know that brain off time and relaxing and not forcing myself to do something I'm not in the mood to is absolutely fine, and I should never have to force myself to read. Ben's gonna be home in half an hour, so I'm gonna sit and read for that half an hour and see what I can do. Now, this is a mixture of me wanting to get back into thrillers and me wanting to get up to date with my GoodReads goal. So let's see if I can do it. Oh my gosh, by complete accident, I'm 28% through both of the books I'm reading right now. Love that. Right, I have my setup. I have my trusty clicker. I have some leftover Halloween sweets. I will be eating these. Any other British people out there absolutely adore Frutella. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, I kind of hope you can't, but I've got my like Christmas scene on YouTube. These two kill me. So Otti and DS Cross. Obviously DS Cross has Asperger's, but as he gets older, more and more aware of social cues. As Otti helps him out, he's learned a few things to help mask it sometimes. But then when Otti and DS Cross get together and have a conversation, he will often insult her without realising it, or basically imply that she's thick, or basically say stuff that is so socially out of cue that they then argue about it, because obviously in his mind that was appropriate and that's what you say. And if Otti hasn't used an expression correctly, then Otti's in the wrong, and how dare she use that expression the wrong way. The arguments that they have about it are absolutely hilarious. Like, they are so stubborn. So what's just happened here, and I have to tell you, probably not as funny, it's probably one of those had to be there moments. Otti said something about, used a word incorrectly, and Cross told her that she obviously didn't know much about general knowledge and that general knowledge was a bit of an oxymoron in her case. And she turned around and said to him, you know, if you're going to insult me, why don't you just get on with telling me this useless knowledge you have? He said, well, if you're going to be like that, then no. Fine. And then they're just in the car, like, not talking to each other, not looking at each other, being really silent. And because of Cross's Asperger's, he has to tell her what it means. So he's like battling with himself because he knows he shouldn't, because he realises that the situation calls for him being angry at her and her being angry at him. It's just the funniest thing, because a lot of this comes from Cross's point of view and his inner monologue about whether he should tell her or not, and his like burning desire to tell her the actual definition is just absolutely hilarious. At the moment, the monastery is not being very forthcoming, so the death of the monk is still rather a mystery. Indeed. Well, I'll let you know if we get any more clues. Okay, so I'm gonna update you. It's Friday. Here is my Kindle. Can you see what chapter we're on? I've barely read a thing. I did sit and do an hour of editing this morning. Took the dog out. As you can tell, I'm still unwell. I'm increasingly more and more disappointed in myself as the week goes on. Maybe because I read The Twist of a Knife so quickly, I gave myself too much high expectations. It could very well be it. Now, I know you're thinking, Jess, where have all your eyelashes gone? Well, I pulled them out. The plan now is to sit until Ben gets home and read. I am 35% of the way through, 146 pages out of 414. Let's just double check if it is 414, because 414 is the whole book, but the question is, when does the chapters end? Ha! 408. So I'm 146 pages through the 408 pages. Afternoon. It is a Sunday. I've not spoken to you since Thursday, and that's because I've been reading exactly the same book this entire time. I have finally finished The Monk by Tim Sullivan. It's still Sunday though, so technically we've not finished this challenge until it's Monday. So I will talk to you after work about the monk and how I felt. But for the rest of this challenge, how many thrillers can I read in a week? We're on to The Island by C.L. Taylor, which is Benjamin's choice, the last choice. This is, I want to say 280 pages. So let's see how much of this I can get done tonight at work. And then I'll update you probably Monday morning with like a wrap up of everything that's gone on. Wish me luck. So far we've read, what did I read? The Twist of a Knife by Anthony Horowitz, Monday, Tuesday. And on Wednesday to Sunday morning, we read The Monk by Tim Sullivan. Let's see if we can get at least half of a book done tonight, so 2.5. So I need to read 140 pages tonight. I feel like that's quite doable. Let's see. We have completed the thrillers for a week. I have only read 3. I'm very proud of myself for this. Technically I read 2.5 because by Sunday night, which you just saw, I was starting The Island by C.L. Taylor and I got halfway, bang on halfway. So technically this week we have read 2.5 books. Let's talk about them. We started with The Twist of a Knife by Anthony Horowitz and I believe I gave this, I want to say 3. Did I give it a 3? I think I gave this a 3. Now, what I didn't like about this was it was very much a slow burner. Like I said, it took us up to 94 pages for like the main event to happen. And we didn't actually find out what happened until literally 20 pages from the end. I could have sat and read this in one sitting. The words flowed. The writing was just so satisfying for my brain. This was a great thriller to get back into things with. It wasn't heavy, it wasn't scary, it was just like a whodunit, but thriller. And I like that. So first book was Anthony Horowitz, The Twist of a Knife. Second up was The Monk by Tim Sullivan. Now, at the time I thought this was the last book in the series that I needed to read. Turns out it's not. There's quite a few novellas and there's still The Teacher. The Monk by Tim Sullivan. This took me a while to read. I don't know why. Going from a 370 page physical book to a 403 paged Kindle book did it for me. I think the writing's different for one, and for two, I got busy. I got very busy. Now, Tim Sullivan's DS Cross series are very much a solid 3.5 books for me, just because they're very mid. Like, I love reading them because they are so interesting and you never can ever guess what's going to happen. But they're still mid because like there's no like, oh my god, what's going on? Do you know what I'm saying? So that was another 3 for me, actually. I'd say 3.5. That was a very interesting book though. I'm glad that I actually bothered to finish it, or that I didn't DNF it, because I was considering DNFing it just because it was taking me so long to read, but proof, you should always stick it out. So that was The Monk by Tim Sullivan. There's not much more to say about it. The twist was incredible. The dynamic between DS Ulti and DS Cross, phenomenal as always. Love seeing them two in the book. And the crime was a crime. Do you know what I mean? It was, oh my god, this happened. Oh my god, why would that happen? Oh my god, you did it. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so, and for the final book of this week, we started The Island by C.L. Taylor. This has been sat on my TBR for a very long time, and it just looked like one of those books where I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm interested. What first got me about this book is that, bearing in mind it says 6 teenagers, you only get 2 points of view, Jessie and Danny. In the group there's Jessie, Danny, Meg, Honor, Milo and Jefferson. So why did we only get Jessie and Danny's point of view? Now that was always something throughout the book that I was like, oh my goodness. Now Sunday night, like bang on midnight, or maybe just after midnight, I read to page 145. Which is literally a page over exactly halfway. So I did do exactly 2.5 books this week. Now I finished this Monday evening. I'm gonna go with I read 3 books in a week because I did Monday to Monday, technically. This was really good. Another book that flowed exactly like The Twist of a Knife. If I had one sitting, I would have read this whole thing. This was huge, this one. Like the twist at the end completely threw me off. And thank goodness, this wasn't too much of a slow burner. There was something that was happening the whole time. So I would give this a good 3.5. 3.75 actually. 3.75 or a 4, I'd say. I'm quite happy. In a week, in 7 days, I read 3 books. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, so 8 days I read 3 books. I'm officially back on track with my GoodReads goal, which is essentially what this was about too. Not only that, I'm actually on my 4th thriller. I'm on chapter 3 of The Summer Girl by Jenny Blackhurst. I thought, I'm on a roll, let's go with it, let's keep going. I think that's going to be the last one though before I then get to my mood reads for the rest of the year, because I still have my list of 24 books in 2024 I want to complete. There's still quite a few books I want to go for, so we're not going to go seasonal for the rest of the year now. We are just going to read whatever the heck I like. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'm now officially going back to a video a week. Don't hold me to it because I can't always guarantee it, but I am going to try my absolute hardest to do a video a week because I actually miss it so much, and I feel like I've actually become less organised with my videos now that I've gone down a video. So I will see you next week. Please like, please comment. I'd love to talk to you about the books I read and you read. Subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. I kicked my tripod. Yeah, you are. Oh my goodness. In a vase?
There's your vase.
Do you think they heard my fart?
Maybe. Happy bones. Got every app known to man open. I track. Tell me a secret. Oh wow.